things which keep coming, so much so that, uh, my home city is Mumbai, and there's a very, very famous temple called Siddhivinayak of Lord Ganesha. Every Tuesday, there are huge, huge crowds. The line to get into the temple goes for maybe a couple of miles, that long. People perform austerity. What they do is from the far off suburbs, miles away, they come walking all the way to take darshan and offer. And what they do outside is they have all these stalls. They have uh, coconut, flowers. Lord Ganesha loves a sweet called modak. So they take that and they make the offering to Lord Ganesha. The element of love may be there in a few, but mostly it is, hey Ganesha, this is what I'm giving you, and in return, give this to me. So they're making it like a bribe or a business transaction, is what is going on. And like this, there are so many other temple. People worship for some gain. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, four kinds of people come to me. Now, what is happening over here is when you get too attached to something, what does um, what does fame, money, wealth, etc. do to you? It makes it easier for you to indulge in your sense gratification. What does Bhagavad Gita say about this? Because the more we indulge in sense gratification, the more our mind is absorbed in that kind of whatever it is, that kind of pleasure. So, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said, correct, that when you contemplate the objects of our senses, we develop attachment from them. And from such attachment, lust comes. And from lust, anger arises. Now, see, this is the whole sequence. So, what is said in Bhagavad Gita, we can see it play out here in this pastime of Daksha Prajapati insulting Lord Shiva. And then what happens? It starts from contemplating. You're so absorbed in sense gratification, we are thinking of all these objects. All these senses are channels through which we are gratifying, getting some kind of flickering pleasure. So from that attachment, and from attachment, lust. From lust comes anger. From anger, person becomes deluded. Then when a person is angry, we do not know what we are speaking, what we are saying, what we are thinking. It becomes like a madman. And when the person is deluded, whatever is there in his memory, he cannot decide what's going on. He's bewildered. And when a person is bewildered, his intelligence is lost. Intelligence is the ability to discriminate what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. Should I say it? Should I not say it? Intelligence considers so many things and tries to choose the right path. So there is no intelligence. And when that intelligence is lost, one falls back into this material condition. Further, he sinks further. We're already in the material condition. We further are sinking into that material condition. So this is what happened with Daksha. All that being a Prajapati and so much like, oh, I'm doing all these sacrifices and all that. He could not even recognize the position of who Lord Shiva is. That was his situation. And if you see from Bhagavad Gita, we can get this how Daksha's behavior. It is a case study, you can say. Hare Krishna. So there's other things that we can learn from this. What happened? He was insulting Lord Shiva. What did Lord Shiva do? Shiva could have just vanquished him in a moment. It wouldn't have been even an effort on Shiva's part to put him in his place, to chastise him, to punish him. But no, he did not do that. Why? Why? Because first thing is, Shiva being a Vaishnava is Trinadapi Sunichena. He doesn't expect respect from anyone, correct? He respects everybody. Mahaprabhu's instructions, the third one, Shikshashtakam, correct? Trinadapi Sunichena Tarora Vaishaishana Amananena Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. That's what Shiva is. He's always absorbed in the thought of Krishna. He's always absorbed. So all these things is like water off the duck's back. Praise, insult, scorn, whatever it is. It is all, it doesn't affect him at all. This is how we sadhakas, when we are trying to practice bhakti, and there are so many opportunities, dear devotees, how this happens, tolerating criticism, correct? How do we tolerate criticism? Right now, our ego is so puffed up with whatever little bit we have or how much ever more that we have. Our ego is massive. And this ego, the more massive the ego, the false ego becomes, the more fragile it is. What do you mean a person has a fragile ego? Fragile ego means that so much I'm expecting how others should behave to me because I am on this pedestal. If that doesn't meet the criteria of my expectation, it upsets me a lot. So it takes very little to upset me. That it's thin. This ego is very fragile. So this is what is where with all these possessions, all whatever that we have, our ego. And for a sadhaka who's trying to practice bhakti, we have to learn to tolerate criticism. We have to learn not only to tolerate criticism, but to tolerate also praise. Whenever anyone would offer Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, Prabhupada's Gurudev, whenever anyone would offer him obeisances, he would always reply back, Dasosmi, I am your servant, Dasosmi. Such an elevated position, he is taking the position of a servant, not just lip service, but actually meaning it. My position is here to serve you. If I take this position of a spiritual master, who is revered like God, it is my service. I'm a servant. They don't forget that. So, even in praise, we have to learn how to tolerate praise. We have to learn how to tolerate reversals. We have to learn how to tolerate advancements. It's not just reversals. Tomorrow we get a windfall, something happens, a lot of success, whatever it is. It should not disturb us. We should understand it, that it is not my doing. All this is coming as a blessing. Whether someone curses us, my Gurudev says that every moment in a sadhaka's life is a moment for transformation. There is a lesson in it. Everything. So many things may disturb us. We should be reflective why it is happening. The other thing what we can get from this is we should avoid offending devotees. Very, very careful because the Bhakti Lata Bij, right? Um, so nice, this Bhakti Lata Bija verse came in my mind of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. Thousands, countless, millions of lifetimes, we have been bouncing up and down from the higher planetary systems to the lower planetary systems, up and down. This we're traveling. Now, this lifetime, in this body, we have got the opportunity to stop bouncing and go back to Godhead. What is that? How did that happen? Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. It's their mercy which plants the seed in us, whatever, that little seed of bhakti. And then whatever sadhana we are doing is we're trying to protect it. And slowly it starts sprouting. And if you've seen a creeper, like when we were kids, we used to have this money plant at home. And it starts going on the wall, the support of the wall, and it goes all over the room. And the balcony, we had it, the money plant. So if you see, it starts off with a small little, very tender, and then it starts growing, and it always needs this support. So this is what our sadhana is. Every round that we're chanting, every time we're visiting the temple, attending the classes, slowly, 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 that creeper is going. And that creeper is very, very delicate. It's very fragile. It has to be taken care of. And when we offend a devotee, when we are insulting in thoughts, insulting in words, insulting in deeds, in such a situation, it is like a mad elephant has come in and he has just destroyed everything. Imagine there's a beautiful garden with all these bhakti lata seeds, and the elephant who's drunk with anger just goes in and destroys everything. That's what happens. Now, of course, the severity of the reaction on thoughts through words and deeds. So the deed is the most offensive and you get the reaction. Then even the words, but even thoughts. Of course, in Kali Yuga, they say there is no karma attached to thoughts, thinking. But there is a danger because this thinking leads to words, leads to deeds. So we have to be very, very careful in avoiding devotees. Then Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, several years ago, I uh, listened to his class, and then there was a question, and it was on this Vaishnav Aparad. Is there are times we all are human beings, and our nature is to commit mistakes. All of us commit mistakes. There's nobody who's perfect. We're trying to get on the path of perfection. And because of our habit, because of our conditioning, unknowingly we commit mistakes. It happens. We commit mistakes. So the question was that, with a Vaishnav, I may commit a mistake. Whatever happens, those of you who are from India can understand the culture. Suppose if accidentally you kick somebody, you don't intend, it's not a fight or something. Accidentally, if your leg touches the body of another person, what you do is you touch that person's body and you again touch it to your heart. It's basically like, I'm sorry. Why? Because there is Atma, there is the Paramatma in that person's body, and the body is like a temple. That is the culture. So that is accidentally. Suppose accidentally we do something in a Vaishnav Sangha, and there is some offense that we have. So what is it? So what Maharaj said is, you'll go crazy trying to say that how much, oh, I have to be so sensitive. You won't even be able to do your seva. Not that you should be careless, but if there is no intent to commit the offense, don't worry about it is a Vaishnava aparadha or no. There's no intent, but that doesn't mean that we should be casual and treat Vaishnava, oh, I don't have an intent to do it. Okay, 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 I did my mistake. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No, that should not be our attitude. A Vaishnav is a very special person, a very, very special person. And we think, the special persons are sannyasis, the Guru Varga, and, or someone who has been for many years in the movement, or someone is very, very knowledgeable, or, someone is whatever it be, whatever we see around us. But no, everyone is very, very special. That is the attitude of a devotee. Devotee always considers himself to be the lowest, no matter whatever stage he is in. Always the lowest. And we can see amongst us who is really senior is the level to which he is absorbed, he or she is absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And you can see all these characteristics: tolerance, they will never offend anyone, the behavior. So this is what we can understand from this pastime. Also, we need to be very careful of how we choose the association. There is this, oh, karmi, karmi, karmi. In a sense, even this devotion can become a source of ego, false ego for us. I am a devotee, that person is a karmi. Shastra says, Guru says, I should avoid the association of karmis. Oh, I don't eat meat. I only offer bhoga and eat prasad. So therefore, I'm superior than all these mlechas. It happens, it can come into us. So, what we talk about association, when we talk about association, what does it mean to associate? So, association means you serve. Association is not casual. How we meet, mainly association in a material world, again, is for sense gratification, emotional, or whatever it may be. People get together, they go to clubs, they meet in restaurants, and then they have a good time with each other, enjoy. That's the whole purpose it is. But Vaishnav Sangha means to serve. What can I do to bring you closer to Krishna? What can I do to serve you? What can I do? What order can you give me which will bring me closer to Krishna? That is the attitude. What is the whole thing? Servant of the servant of the servant. So this is what we should do, choose association, because the association has an effect on our consciousness. Whom you associate with, that's whom you become. Hare Krishna. And then one last point is what is renunciation? Correct? Vairagya. What is renunciation? We learn in the Shastras, we learn from past times. Lord Shiva completely renounced. He used to be in the graveyard, the smashan. You get it, all the ash he used to put on his body. Who were his associates? All the ghosts and spirits, they are his associates. So, from a material sense of view, material point of view, he is unclean and uncouth, you can say, right? But see the consciousness of him. Now, someone will say, oh, Krishna is associating with people who are not on the path of devotion. Sorry, Shiva. But no, Shiva is associating them to give them association, to bring them closer to Krishna. So that can happen in our conditions also, our life also. We have social obligations, we have professional obligation. There will be a Christmas party coming up in the office, and you have to go and participate in it. There are weddings in the family, you have to go and participate in it. And most of the people are not on the path of spirituality. So there'll be all kinds of um, avenues for sense gratification in such events. What do you do over there? You cannot be that, no, no, I'm Hare Krishna, I put my hands up. I'm not going to. What is Vairagya? Vairagya is renunciation, but it is renunciation for our desire to enjoy the senses, renounce that. And that can only happen, you can only renounce what we have been so attached to. We can only detach from that if we get attached to something higher and better, and that is bhakti. When we get attached to bhakti, initially it will seem very difficult, it will seem very bitter, like jaundice, that example they give. Sugarcane is the cure for jaundice. Sugarcane is sweet, but in the diseased condition of jaundice, when we are drinking sugarcane, it tastes bitter, and gradually that sweet taste develops. So, when we are talking about Vairagya, we're trying to detach from whatever is the sense gratification, our pleasure. It cannot happen until and unless you're attached to something higher and better. You may be able to control your senses, but that is temporary. It's only a matter of time before we slip in again. So, so this is what we can do. Also, we should prioritize bhakti over social norms. Many a times there are situations which come in. There are opportunities to engage in bhakti. Many, many, many. And there'll also be a situation competing for our attention and our time with something else. Make it a habit to choose bhakti over uh, social approval. So to say, Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, thank you very much. If anyone has
Thank
a
you.
question or a comment, we can do that. We have about 2-3 minutes. Otherwise, Nityam Bhagavad Seva. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Very good. If no questions, Madhupati Prabhu, over to you.
Very well. Yeah. I think when you give a lecture, we should have another Nityananda asking questions.
Huh?
Nanda asking questions from Nityananda. Anyway, yeah. Thank you very much. We would like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. And we'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Shri Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai Jai Nrsimha, Prahlade, Jaya Padma, Mukha Lignam, Ugravi,
Kaviram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvabhaumukam
Vishnu,
Narsingham Vishnam
Bhadrama,
Bhadramatimati Namami.
Nrsimha Bhagwana ki jai,
Jai,
Prahlada ki jai.
Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas, Vancha
Vanchakalpatarubhashya Kripaya
Kalpataru,
Sindhu Bhavecha Patitanam
Patitanam Pavane
Bhavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
वैष्णव विंद की जय, ग्रंथ
Jai,
भागवतम की जय, शिला
Jai,
प्रभुपाद की जय, बोल
Jai.
प्रेम।
Hari 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 Bol.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you,
Very
everybody.
nice.
Hari
Thank you.
Bol.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Nicely explained.
Hare Krishna.